MyMac Podcast 961. Hoping to see clearly.
And welcome everyone to the MyMac.com podcast number 961. Now, last year, several things happened, and I haven't exactly made a secret of the issues of having lost my right eye. I don't know why I'm laughing about it. While I have made light of it, in nearly every way, it sucks. It puts me and others like me in kind of a weird situation. We have a clearly defined affliction, but there's little to no help for us. While I'm sure people with worse sight issues would gladly trade places with those of us with mostly good vision in one eye, there's more assistive technology for the blind or those with almost no vision than there is for us. Now, everyone is different, and our needs are very different as well. But can't there be some help for us too? Gaz, how are you today, sir?
Guy.
Guy,
am sponsorific. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm absolutely sponsorific. Superb. Done a few things. I'm going to jump straight in, Guy. I'm going to jump straight in. Been busy this week. You remember the item that we talked about last week, where I had a tube in a certain place, which we don't want to. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I did grit my teeth.
God, we're getting old.
Okay, I did grit my teeth, and I was pushing my feet against the end of the bed, but they removed it. Yay!
Okay, good.
And also, it's still out. More importantly, I am able to do things on my own, which is great.
It is great.
I'm talking P.
Yeah.
So that's been good, and I've been out on a bike twice this week. Once on Friday, which was yesterday, with Mrs. Gaz, and we went to a cafe and had a very nice coffee and a cheese straw. I'm going to leave it there. I also went on a quick ride out this morning, very quick 14 miles, just to see if I could push it on a bit. And yes, I have lost a bit of my fitness after 4 weeks off the bike, and I was puffing a bit during the ride, but I averaged what I've been doing before, so I'm happy with that.
Nice.
I spent a little time on MyMac this week. And I did a couple of things, actually. One, I ordered the Belkin iPhone mount with MagSafe. So that's what I'm using at the moment. So normally the camera is to one side and looks at me at an angle, but it should be, I think, if I look up into the camera, it's up there.
Yeah.
It's up there, I'm pointing.
I see you right
so
there.
it's pretty much central on me now. So, and it's looking down on me. I just need a software which can obviously bring the focus down so it looks like I'm actually looking into the camera, but I haven't bothered with that. I couldn't. and I've got eyeglasses working again.
Nice. That was a big thing, because the problem, one of the problems with continuity cam is you can't zoom in or out.
No. And basically with eyeglasses, obviously I can zoom in and out, and that's great. And also the mount, let me go back to the mount first. Over here did cost a bit of money, which, for what it is, but it is well made and it works really well. It's sitting up there great. But it was $39.95, I think. So I got that, and it came in a few days later, which was good. I thought it'd be. Did
I ever show you the thing that I've got that I don't?
No, but I'm moving on anyway. And also,
hold on.
No, I'm not holding on.
You have to. Here it is, right here. You see it?
Yeah, I do see it. Now the thing is, if I'm going to show, if I'm
down,
Yeah, well, I don't want anything in front of the monitor, because then I'd have to work around it. So I've basically got the camera at the top of the screen. So I just thought it was important to interrupt you. Yeah, well, that's normal. Anyway, moving on from that, I quite like it. It sits up there. It's unobtrusive. I've taken the other webcam that I had off completely. Although, as you know, this evening, I was struggling a little bit with a continuity camera. I couldn't get it working. It just didn't seem to want to work, and then all of a sudden it suddenly popped up. I don't know.
I
don't
have
know.
had many of those same issues, and it's why I now use the Sony A5100 again.
That's good, but I quite like the continuity because it gives a good quality of image, which I know really that you like. However, going back to the eyeglasses thing, I found a link from what's the company's name? Ecamm. And what Ecamm said was macOS Sonoma 14.1 disables support for old-style virtual camera applications, including eyeglasses. Fortunately, there is a workaround to restore this functionality. What you have to do is download Ecamm Live from the download link below, then open the Ecamm Live app. You do not have to sign up. Simply launching the app will set up the workaround and restore the use of eyeglasses. You can quit Ecamm Live and you won't need to reopen it again unless you like it.
Oh, okay.
And that's exactly what I'm done and I'm doing. Ecamm Live is quite a sophisticated tool for obviously sending images and imagery out live and obviously recording live as well. But that cost, I think, quite a bit of, well, not sure how much it costs because I haven't looked at it because I've had eyeglasses for a long time now and it works. So, well, it works now.
Yeah.
And cool. So that's what I've been doing on MyMac and thoroughly happy with myself, he says.
Good.
How about you? Because obviously you did mention something about II.
Yeah.
Also, there was one other thing.
Go ahead.
We've had several updates from macOS Sonoma, haven't we?
We have.
And do you know the image with the desktop images issue that I've been having?
Words are hard. Yes.
Yes.
Is it fixed?
No, it's still not working. And Apple, I might interject in your commentary about a certain letter that you sent, but I'll leave it. I'll leave it until we get there because I'll do it now. Tim,
send a letter to Tim Cook.
Yeah, I'm going to send a letter to Tim Cook and say, pull your. I want to swear here.
Don't swear.
Fecking, the old Irish fecking, finger out and get bloody desktop images fixed, will you? Your bloody software is becoming a damn nightmare to use. It's complicated. There's too many settings. Would this happen if Steve was here? Hang on a minute. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what would happen. Would this happen if Steve was here?
No.
Dead right, okay. Steve. Dead right.
Well, Steve. I think Steve is somewhat biased. Even previously recorded Steve would probably.
If I'm honest, I think we're probably a bit biased as well.
Yeah, maybe just a bit. So I had a visit. Well, I don't think I've talked about it here on the show, but I've had some problems in the past with my my prosthetic eye kind of generating some liquid and popping out every once in a while. So I contacted my fake eye guy and told him about some of the issues. Fake eye guy. And he decided, when I went to see him, he decided that if he made it a little bit bigger, that it would probably stop moving around. That's where he thinks all the fluid is coming from, is that it's moving around and it's being irritating. And yeah, I can agree. It's been very irritating. And if it was a little bit bigger, that maybe it wouldn't move around so much and it would cause less irritation. However, in most ways, it's worse now. So I'm going to go back to see him on Monday, which is Martin Luther King Day, and try to get it straightened out. And in case I forget, but I'm not going to forget, I'm on a different microphone this week, Gaz.
You're not. I don't believe it.
People are going to be surprised.
Can I ask you a question, Guy?
Certainly.
Do you know how many mics you've got?
No. I do not. I have a lot of microphones.
Let me ask the question differently. Steve.
Okay.
Do you know how many mics Guy has got?
No.
No.
Yeah.
And is it?
Is driving us crazy.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah.
Is it? And Steve, is it possible that I won't buy any more microphones?
No.
See, he knows all, he sees all. He is Steve, the magic former CEO of Apple. The microphone that I'm using today,
You betcha.
and I won't use it forever, is it's really been kind of a shock for me. It's the Fifine 669D.
You have talked about this, Mike.
Have I?
I think you've talked about it, but you haven't. I don't think you've used it, but you have mentioned it, I think.
Okay. Well, it's a dynamic microphone, and it is $37. And it's for how much you spend on this microphone, it hits way out of its class. So I am going to be very interested to see how this podcast is going to sound when I do the editing later on. And we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah. So that's all I got. What have you got, Gaz?
I've got Gaz's snippets.
All right.
In. See, look at that. Bing.
Yeah.
Bing, bing a bang a bong. Bish bash bosh.
Go ahead.
Do you know that there was obviously a very unfortunate incident with a plane in Alaska recently?
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, apparently an iPhone is intact and working just fine after a 16,000 foot fall from the Alaskan air flight. Yes.
Must have had one of those great who makes those crazy
it
cases?
doesn't look like it does actually. It just looks like it's a standard iPhone case, one of those, rubber cases that you can get from them. It probably had quite a soft landing, I would say. So it's still complaining about the fact that its parachute didn't open, and it may have also said, "Have you fallen over? Shall I
ring emergency services?"
Yeah.
999.
See, it seems like you've been in an accident, iPhone. No one else.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Anyway, we won't dwell on that. Apple's iPhone sales in China fell 30% in the first week of 2024.
I wonder why. See last week's show for possible explanations.
It's interestingly though, Guy, that's still pretty quiet on the ecosphere, isn't it? And the Apple ecosphere. I've not seen very much. No, I'm amazed, to be honest with you.
And it's like such a huge deal.
I think it is. It is. AirDrop has been cracked by China, revealing phone number and email addresses of the sender in a significant breach. I love the way they use some of these highbrow words to try and make it so much more important. In a significant breach of Apple's privacy measures, a new report says that AirDrop was cracked by the Chinese government to reveal the iPhone, the phone number and email address of senders. The anonymity of AirDrop was one of the reasons it's been used commonly by activists to share information about protests and other information censored by the government. It goes on and on and on.
Okay, and that is not the way most people are using AirDrop.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
If you're just using it like I did to help someone set up their new computer, you're fine. Don't worry about it. If you're in an authoritative country and trying to spread information about an upcoming protest, you may want to think twice about that.
Apple original film Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, lands 4 Creative Arts Emmy Awards. And if you haven't seen that particular film, folks, I highly recommend it. Really interesting, actually, really interesting. Apple has told its developers not to call their AR or VR apps AR or VR apps.
Could have guessed that one was coming. What are they supposed to call them?
this is in relation to the Vision Pro, which, has been released,
Yeah.
and we'll come on to that later. They've got to call them spatial computing apps, Guy. Do you know that Tim Cook was recently going to see the head of the EU to talk about their app store? Well,
No, I know that he wasn't answering my email, so yeah, I guess he's doing something important.
Apparently, he's told the EU, or Apple has told the EU, that it's got 5 different app stores, not just one.
That's true, but each one is dependent upon a particular platform.
I'm just leaving it there because I knew that you'd like that one.
Okay, I did.
Apparently, developing Vision OS apps requires an Apple Silicon Mac.
Really? Does it now? Which way did they go, George? Which way did they go?
I put this one in because I know that I think I briefly mentioned it before, but I just wanted to make sure that you were up to date on it. Okay. Apple TV Plus has revealed the official trailer for The Dynasty, a New England's Patriot documentary. It premieres February 16th, because I know that you'd be looking out for that, Guy.
Dolphins and the Chiefs playing tonight, but I can't watch it because it's only on pay-per-effing-view on Peacock for ad-supported sports. Thank you, NFL. Thank you, Peacock. If anything, anywhere, at any time, convinced me to not subscribe to a service, it is this. So I'm not upset.
Just watch the 10-minute summary on YouTube afterwards, Guy. It won't be worth watching the whole game.
I get like almost no chance to see the Dolphins living up here near Washington, D.C. And
well, you've got to move.
Freaking playoffs for the first time in a long time, and I can't watch them because they have it hidden behind a paywall. A freaking playoff game. And again, I'm not upset.
Yuck.
Ever. Assholes.
This oh dear. I knew that one would actually create a reaction. It's just not the reaction I was anticipating, if I'm honest. Apple's VP of Finance is to take over as Sonos CFO. There you go. That's astounded you,
told
hasn't
him
it?
to be a CFO.
Major Apple supplier TSMC beats expectations on fourth quarter revenue. Revenue in the final 3 months of last year came to $1 trillion. No, it can't be. No, it's 625 billion. That's better. That's Taiwanese dollars. So that's about $20 billion dollars. I've got to go dollars rather than Taiwanese dollars.
It's compared to those completely worthless but very beautiful Zimbabwe dollars.
Apparently, Rogue Amoeba says it's about to get dramatically easier to install apps like Audio Hijack. I didn't realize that they still wanted to create apps for Mac, considering how much they hate them. ITC wants Apple Watch ban reinstated, and Apple presents a weak and unconvincing case, apparently. More on that a little bit later, I think. More on that a little bit later, I think.
Okay.
That'll be according to that's the Trade Commission.
Oh.
Hang on a minute. The US International Trade Commission today formally opposed Apple's motion for the Apple Watch ban to remain. But I'll come back to that a little bit later. I think I've got another piece on that. Apparently, Apple's Mac takes 16.1% share of the US personal computer market in Q4 of 23.
So that's in sales or just overall market share?
PC shipments.
Okay.
That's
either one of those actually is really good.
Well, absolutely. I mean, do you want to know how much the increase is from the fourth quarter of 2022?
I am dying to know.
0.3%.
Oh, good thing we had that big long article about it.
Apple has Apple has released a Magic Keyboard firmware update with a Bluetooth security fix. I have checked my my Apple Magic Keyboard firmware, and it is up to date. So I'm good. This will break your heart, Guy. This will absolutely break your heart. Microsoft has overtaken Apple as the world's most valuable company. Well, we've got to say, because I have been saying about Apple be going up and up and up. So, they've lost that to really a true rival in a sense. Sure. So rather than just another oil company that's making loads of money. Al Gore and James Bell are to retire from the Apple board of directors. Dr. Wanda.
Al Gore I didn't even know he was on the board.
He's been on the board for about 20 years, I think. He's been on the board a long time, I believe. And Dr. Wanda Austin is to join. Now, this is all well and good, okay? And that happens. Board of directors, they do change. Very often you'll just get one board of director leaving. And I saw an article further up, which I'm actually not going to refer to it in my snippets, just going to refer to it here. And it said something like, oh my God, it's awful. Normally they sometimes lose one board of director. I mean, the two board of directors that are leaving are 75. Yeah. They're both 75, Guy.
Al Gore is 75. Wow.
Probably about time that they did move on. Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's so busy being president. Oh, wait.
wait, what?
Wait, what?
wait, what? And the thing is, two people have left. Okay. And they've replaced it with one. They may get another board director, because board of directors doesn't have to be a certain size. But this article was going on and on how awful that is. And it's a major problem. They're a board of directors. They're not in the day-to-day running of the company. They're an advisory board. Just crazy. Apple C. Cook, Guy, do you want to know exactly how much his pay was for 2023, which was a drop? It was a drop, Guy,
of over 30%.
63 million in 2023.
We got to get him food stamps.
Food stamps.
He's going to need assistance.
Maybe that's why he can't respond to all emails. He's busy out there busy out there with a second job so he can get food.
He is burning fries at McDonald's just so he can make ends meet
with his dollars that he's earning. Apple has won as patent tribunal decision has been upheld, and Massimo has lost its appeal. Apple's victories at an administrative tribunal that voided two patents Massimo Corp alleged the Apple Watch infringes will stand. A US federal appeals court ruled this week. So that was interesting that they seemed to be pushed and it was going to be, reinstated, but it's been upheld apparently. So well done, Apple.
Yeah. So sorry, Massimo Moyu, whatever your name is.
I love this headline, and I love the second part of this headline. Polestar CEO commits to continued CarPlay support. It's important for our customers to have the choice, he said. Maybe other car manufacturers might want to listen to those comments.
Yeah. Well, maybe if Polestar sold more than 3 or 4 cars, they would be more interested.
I think they sell quite a few in Europe, actually. I think they sell.
Oh, do they? I have yet to see one. I've seen lots of Lucid.
Polestar's the
cars.
Volvo arm, isn't it? It's the arm of Volvo. I think
is it?
Polestar is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
I haven't seen any in the wild here in the States.
Anyway,
I'm sure there's another company called Lucid that I've seen. And of course, Tesla doesn't use.
Will you let me finish?
I gotta say the things I gotta say.
You just can't stop yourself, can you? I'm sure our listeners will write in, phone in somehow if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Polestar is almost the EV arm of Volvo. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. This thing is getting far too much airplay. I love the way I bring it back. Love the way I bring it back to Apple terminology. Clicks for iPhone is maybe the best possible version of a keyboard case.
Really?
What is going on? I mean, why is everybody getting so excited about going back 20 years? I don't get it.
And the thing that cracks me up about this is whoever this was that said, oh, this is the absolute best way that you could have a physical keyboard for your iPhone. It's like, well, that says a whole lot about that market, doesn't it?
Yeah, it says a whole lot, definitely. And of course, the iPhone was, what was it, 17 years since it was officially released, the official Steve Jobs on stage.
Yeah,
when he
it has been 17 years now.
Yeah.
Because I was at that keynote.
Apparently 10% of US consumers use Apple Arcade on a weekly basis.
Really?
Do you know, that sort of statistic though is fairly easy to get, isn't it? Because it takes one game that is really popular and you go into arcade once just to play that one game that everybody's playing, and suddenly that number can be, so what?
Inflated just a little bit?
So what? Well, it's not that it's inflated, it's just, so what?
Yeah, irrelevant.
Apple Music releases a trailer for the Usher's Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh, good. I've been waiting for that.
Well, you can go out and find it. And guess what, Guy?
Tell me.
I think it's February the 2nd. Is it February 2nd? No, it's not February the 2nd. Is it later next week?
No, February the 2nd.
No, it's next January 19th, isn't it? Vision Pro will be released in America.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not February 2nd?
No, it's January sorry. Okay, so it could be February 2nd when you get it, but actually pre-orders start on January the 19th.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it.
And guess what, Guy? Pricing
Tell me.
Starts. Remember that word. Starts
3,500
at 3,499 with 256 gigabyte of storage. I think it'll go up to a terabyte. Can you imagine how much that one's going to cost? With the Apple memory tax that you can get? Yeah, not interested. That, though, folks, is the end of Gaz's snippets. But I do have a Gaz's link. And my Gaz's link, if I can find it, I've headlined my link as, where is it? I thought I put it into the show notes.
You got something.
Yeah, there it is. I've headlined my Gaz's link as, I'll tell you why. And the headline, I haven't actually put the link in. I thought I'd put the link in. Yeah, I've got the link on mine. Let me just do the link while I'm talking, because it'd be best that I put the link in there so you've got it. There you go. It's in there. And the headline to this particular article is, why do IT projects like the UK's scandal hit Post Office Horizon end in disaster? Now, this is, it's massive over here at the moment. Basically, the post office, which I'm not sure whether you have an equivalent or not over there, but basically the post office used to be just about the post office counters used to be everywhere, and they used to be run by very often small business people that were in the community. And having a post office very often linked with a shop was how you made sure that the shop could keep running, because they earned some money from running that post office. Yeah. However, back in the early 2000s, I think it was, a new IT system was put in place, which was called Horizon from Fujitsu. And basically it was not working correctly, is the best way I can put it. And because the age of the post office, the post office in the UK has been around since before the police existed. So they actually, for some quirk of historical and stupidity, really, had their own way to be able to actually investigate and prosecute people and take it to court, so that these people can be put in prison, fined, whatever else a court can actually judge on. Whereas normally everybody else and everything else has to be run through the police. It's the police and, every other process which should be done. But the post office had their own ability to do that. Well, obviously everybody's now up in arms saying, how the hell has that been kept in place? But this IT system was put in place, and really, as I say, why do I do projects like the UK scandal hit Post Office Horizon Ending Disaster? And I've said, I'll tell you why. It's because people that are receiving those software programs very often haven't got a clue on how to make sure that they manage the output. And they just nod their heads like one of those nodding birds that drinks water. And if they get told something, and this is how it works from the coders, from the manufacturer, in this case, Fujitsu, this is how we do it. You've got to have a process where you go, is that right? Is that correct? Whereas no, the post office just went, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like it. Give it to me. Yeah, right. That's great. What, this Windows Excel system for my post office? Yeah, that's great. So, people, just go and have a look. If you're outside the UK, this is quite a big thing at the moment. UK. And so there's a recent TV program, and just go and do a bit of searching. It's really quite incredible how some people. There was one guy actually committed suicide. In fact, there might have been a couple of people that committed suicide to this. There's been, I think, at least 700, and then now I saw a number the other day which was 1,500 people that actually will need compensation. But they also need the money back, because some of these people, Guy, what they did, because they loved the job and they wanted to keep, they put the money in themselves to cover the costs. Some people put thousands of pounds in to cover it because they thought, I'm doing something wrong. It must be me. And they were basically covering that cost. Well, all that money's just disappeared as well. It's gone into the profits of the post office. Anyway.
Yeah. And there's usually no record of it either.
Yeah. I'll tell you why. It's because people do not have an appropriate way to make sure that systems which are being installed are being checked by people who know what they're doing.
Well, you know what most of them are saying.
Go on.
Ladies and gentlemen, am I totally screwed or what?
Yeah.
And that is the end of Gaz's snippet. Sorry,
okay.
Gary's link, I should have said then.
Oh. You going to take it back and then put it on again? Or are we just moving on?
Gaz's link.
There we go. Okay. All is right with the world now.
Nobody else bothered. It's just you, isn't it, really?
Yeah. It kind of is. It's kind of like, is this going to bug Guy to the point where the show will just devolve into complete and utter chaos?
I know how to bug Guy.
His name was Guy.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to do your piece?
No fooling.
Thank you.
And now we can move on, folks.
Now we can move on. And I have sort of put a title on this, which is In the Land of the Blind, the One-Eyed Man is King. Well, not really, as there is no land of the blind, thankfully. However, since all of this has happened to me with having lost my eye, I have searched for technology solutions for those of us with monovision, and I really haven't come up with much. And with the end of January release of the Vision Pro, I decided to write to Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, to see if there was anything that might help with all this newfangled doohickeys that they're getting ready to put out. The response came quickly, Gaz, but didn't really offer much in the way of information. So, in order to keep this all straight, here's my somewhat edited original letter and the response I got. So my letter read as, "Hi, Tim," or whoever reads this first, because we all know he could not read all of the email that he would get from his official email address. My name is Guy Searle, and I'm a longtime Mac Apple user, starting in 1987 with a Mac Plus, and podcaster. This past year has seen some health setbacks, so I am currently on the mend. My biggest issue, however, will never go away, and that's having lost my right eye due to a tumor in April of 2023. I'm making do and still working and driving with the assistance of convex mirrors on the passenger side of my car to help reduce blind spots. Now, when I first heard about the Vision Pro, I became very excited as this could be a tool not just for the visually impaired with both eyes, but for those of us who must now deal with having monovision. Since the Vision Pro has cameras on both sides, is there a way to display both of them across just one side of the Vision Pro? It would likely take some software magic to blend the two images together for a seamless view. This could be a godsend for those of us now having to cope with having one half of our world taken away, as well as bringing potentially all new vistas to others with similar type of sight impairment. With the splash of big announcements, watching movies on a virtual big screen and amazing games, don't forget about us. Those of us trying to cope with reduced vision or other sight impairments. If you do read this, Mr. Cook, thank you for your time, and I look forward to what Apple brings us going into the future. Signed, Guy Searle. Now, within just a few hours, Gaz, I did get a response.
Oh, that's great. God,
Yeah.
So you see,
Yeah.
he does respond to his, fans.
Except this wasn't from Tim Cook. I
No.
can guarantee that Tim Cook did not write this response. And it reads, "Hi," which starts off well. "Thank you for your email. We are glad to know that you are excited about Apple Vision Pro," even though I didn't say any of those things. "Because accessibility is a core value for us, Apple Vision Pro comes with dozens of accessibility features built into its foundation from the very start, including voiceover for users who are blind or have low vision, voice control and switch control for users with physical and motor disabilities, and support for made for iPhone hearing devices for those who are deaf or hard of hearing. Additionally, users with disabilities can interact with the Vision Pro entirely with their eyes, their hands, their voice, or a combination that works best for them. Vision Pro includes the option to utilize eye tracking with one dominant eye, which is really the only part of this entire thing that had anything to do with what I wrote to them about. And users can also select their index finger, wrist, or head as an alternative to eye input. You can read more about the Apple Vision Pro here. Apple.com, Apple Vision Pro. Sincerely, Apple Accessibility. Okay, not quite the answer I was expecting, Gaz. While I'm glad Apple has put in features to make the Vision Pro easily used by people with various disabilities, including reduced sight or none at all, it didn't answer the fundamental question of, can this make life easier or more normal for us, people with monovision? In order for me to justify purchasing something as expensive as this, there's a fundamental question I need to ask, which is, what do I need this for? Do I need a virtual movie screen? Do I need yet another way to talk to people virtually? Do I need a way to play VR and AR games? Do I need yet another user interface to learn for basic computing? For as much as this thing costs, my answer is no. It's not yet enough. I want more. And I think if anyone can do it, it's Apple and their developers. Show me that you can. And for those of you who aren't up on what's going on with me, I have just one eye. I have a prosthetic in on the right side of my face. And kind of what I was hoping to hear or hoping to see was something that would take cameras from both sides, blend them together into a single image seamlessly, and display them for whichever eye is the dominant eye for someone with monocular vision. This could make a huge difference for people while they're driving, while they're just moving around in a crowded area, because I can tell you from experience that not being able to see the people that are making sounds on the side of you that you no longer can see from is a big issue. And it causes, at least it causes for me, a lot of anxiety. And I'm constantly moving my head back and forth to try to see where everybody is. Because even though I'm at a reduced capacity right now, I'm still a really, really big person. And the last thing that I want to do is slam into people accidentally and knock them down. Being able to see from this side, the right side of my head, as well as the left side of my head, would go a long way toward reducing that possibility. So that was my letter to Tim Cook, and that was the response that I got. Obviously not from Tim Cook.
You should reply saying, "Did you actually read my email?"
And they gave me a case number. They said, make sure that if you reply, put this number in as well. So I don't know if I'm going to reply or what I'm going to say. But I am going to put this out there for the listeners. If you guys know or have heard of anything that does the thing that I was just explaining, please, please, please send me a link or give me information toward the company that's trying to develop something like that. Because, you know, yes, it has a limited audience, which is probably one of the big reasons why something like this doesn't exist. But it could be a godsend for people like me. And if you know of anything like it, please let me know, and we'll have all the contact information at the end of the show.
I think you just need a lead with a dog on the end, and you just have to hold it in your right hand all the time.
All the time. Well, I think
and
I
make
told
it a big
you.
dog. It's got to be. It's no good you having a long lead with a Chihuahua on the end. You know.
Yeah, no. It had to be like a Doberman.
Great day. Yeah, great day.
Or a Mastiff. How about a Mastiff?
A small pony. You could have a small pony.
That'd be good. Yeah. Something that drools a lot.
He's nodding his head, folks.
I am.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip.
A couple of quick ones here, iPad related. So on the iPad, if you have 5 fingers, you see, I had to be careful there. If you've got 5 fingers, therefore you can do a 5-fingered squeeze, i.e. put all 5 fingers on your screen and squeeze them together. It closes the current app. Bingo! If you've got 4 fingers, again, I've got to be fairly careful here because you might have 4 fingers. But if you've got the ability to have 4 fingers on your screen, if you basically swipe it with those 4 fingers to the left or right, I think you have to go to I can't remember which way it is. I think you probably have to go to the right. It will then scroll through your most recently used apps if you want to get to them. Because very often if you're doing a bit of multitasking and you want to get out of the current app, you flick up and go down, press the button. No, 5 fingers, you're back on your home screen. Or if you know that the other app it was used recently, you just want to go to it, just basically 4 fingers and swipe it across.
So what would 1 finger do?
I'm saying that's my tip. It's over. All right. Just one finger. 1 finger is going to do a lot more. Right.
Yeah. One finger to guide. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
Is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
And I do not recommend that people watch the video for this show based on a certain
one-fingered gesture.
1-finger gesture that Gaz just gave me. Okay. 1-finger salutes
No
aside.
fool.
If you'd like to support the show, You can easily do so. All you have to do is go to patreon.com/MacPettit or coffeeko-fi.com/MacParrot, or you can PayPal at paypal.me/MacPettit. If you do know of some kind of company that makes software or hardware or some combination thereof for people with monocular vision, I will handcraft you a special Woo T, which is a big W, big O, big O, big T, little I, little E, exclamation mark.
Guy, would it be a poster size Woo T rather than the normal sized Woo T?
It would be if you took the thing that it is and made it bigger. So, guys, if people wanted to contact you and say, how could I take that thing that Guy makes and make it bigger, how would they do that?
Ever so easy, Guy. Ever so easy. Send an email to GAZ at mymac.com or on the X's. I'm just going to call it X's now.
Yeah,
or
sure.
any other social media, Threads, Mastodon, Counter Social, all of them, most of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can contact me as Gazmaz, GAZMAZ. On Mastodon, you do have to go to the portal gazmaz@c.im. You can also contact Guy and Gaz on X by going to whatever it is, X/Guy and Gaz, GYANDGAZ. You can also send an email, which will go through to Fearless Leader and then probably get forwarded through to us. So why you don't just go straight to us in the first place, I don't know. But you can send an email to feedback, FWDBACK, at mymac.com.
Was like, oh, he's going too fast. He's going too fast.
He's the guy.
Guy's the one. Guy.
Guy?
You remember Guy?
His name was Guy.
Wait, hold on. I screwed up.
So many times.
Guy says.
Yeah,
Do we know it was a guy?
we do.
Guy.
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 Wait, you let who kiss you?
Guy.
Ugh.
Guy, we need to talk. Guy, we need to talk. Guy, we need to talk.
I like that one.
Guy, we need to talk.
I can tell. I can tell.
It's such a classic guy line.
Classic Guy line.
Guy, we need to talk.
If you want.
An email from Guy.
No fooling.
How would they do
No.
it?
Whew. Oh, just open up the email client of your choice and send that email to at mymac.com. And if you want to reach me over there on the X's, I am Mac Parrot and or Vert Shark over there on that thing that used to be Twitter and is now something completely different, even though it looks exactly the same. Now, you can also reach me on Counter Social and Mastodon.social, where I am Mac Pettit as well. And Gaz, if they wanted to call us, I've heard somewhere, someone told me that there is a phone number that they can call to get a hold of us.
Apparently, it's not a GPO number. I think only the Brits will get that.
Yeah, I have no idea what that means.
But the number is 703-828-4677. I'll say that just one more time in case you missed it. 703-828-4677.
You know, I could be wrong, but it kind of sounded like you said 703-828-4677.
I did.
You did. Okay. Well, whew, I got that right. One thing I got right today. So this is the unfortunate part of the show, depending on what side of the microphone that you're on, where we are close to the end, Gaz. We are close to the end and we have to say goodbye. And I would like to say, it is sad face. Thank you. Thank you to every one of you who downloads and listens. Why a hangers to the MyMac.com podcast. Only Joan Collins would get the wire hangers thing. Or no, Joan Crawford. God, I blew my own joke. I cannot believe I did that. Joan Collins is the one that dies in the Star Trek episode.
Move on.
Moving on.
Move on.
Moving on. Joan Collins. Joan Crawford. Gaz, I think
Her
that
name
we
was
are
Joan.
Joan Collins. Joan Collins. I think that we're good enough, Gaz.
So we're back.
I do. Thank you, Steve. I also think that one eye or not, that we're smart enough, and that Wilf, that amazing dog, Woof, 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 Wilf. Sometimes you can see him, sometimes you can't. That people like us.
Guy, mountains aren't just funny. They're hill areas. End.
So you can all go home and there's nothing to worry about. Get out of here now. Go on. Go on home and I go home.